Hi guys, welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Christina and I put out videos every Saturday. Except for today, please don't kill me. So if you want to get notified for when I post, hit subscribe. Question of the day, what is the last show you saw? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so for those of you who follow me on Instagram, at Christina Ryrie, you know that yesterday I saw Wicked. Can we just take a moment to exemplify theater and how amazing it is, and just how human beings could create such a beautiful form of art, because we need to recognize that. Like I said, I saw Wicked yesterday and it was truly amazing and honestly jaw-dropping. I cried, I laughed, and it was just overall such a surreal experience, and I am so glad that I got to go see it. So today I kind of wanted to deconstruct it and let you guys know my feelings about it, things that I really loved and the things I were kind of iffy about. So let's just get right into it. Okay, I'm gonna try my best not to spoil things because I'm not here to let you guys know what the show actually was. So don't be worried, this is not a spoil fest. I'm just here to share my thoughts and feelings and emotions and tears and laughs and everything that comes along with that. Okay, for starters, every time I look at a professional stage that's so well done, it completely amazes me. I mean, the amount of work and inspiration and creativity that must have been put into that set is so much. Like, it's hard to comprehend sometimes, but the set was literally so amazing. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful and so different than any other set I've ever seen. And that's what I love about it. It was so industrial and it just gave me this really cool feeling. Along with the set changes and transitions into the scenes were so well done and so smooth, and that's just my favorite part about theater in general, just how smooth everything is, and I'll go into detail more about that later. But next best thing, costumes. Oh my gosh, those costumes, especially Glinda's costumes. Glinda is like my literal favorite. She's such a cute bubble, and her costumes were so beautiful and so sparkly, and I loved it so much. And Elphaba's, oh my gosh, just the detail on the costumes. I mean, I was in the balcony, so obviously I couldn't see that well, but I could just tell how much work was put into that costume, and it was so cool. Okay, so back to everything going smoothly. My favorite part about well done shows is how in sync everyone is and how perfectly on time everyone is with the music and with the cues and everything like that. It's amazing when you see everything playing out naturally. It's truly breathtaking. Now, I don't know if this is just because I haven't seen that many professional shows, but every time I do go see one, my jaw drops. Literally, my mouth is open for 5 minutes straight at the beginning of the show because I'm just so amazed. Like, how are these human beings doing this on stage? It's crazy to me. And hello, ensemble appreciation post, because that ensemble was absolutely amazing. Everyone usually watches like the main characters and what they're doing, but me, I like to look at the ensemble in each of the scenes and see what each of the person are doing, and you can see the dedication that they put into their characters, into their dances and song. You can see the amount of emotion they put into it, and I am truly taken away by each and every one of those people. Obviously, everyone's not perfect, and of course the show wasn't perfect, but by looking at everything in the show, you can see the amount of work that those people put into it, and just to make everyone feel better about themselves and about each other and let them be entertained. And I truly feel that theater it can be a selfless thing. Another thing I liked, which of course is a given, the acting. Oh my gosh, just, it's so refreshing to see a well done show, because not a lot of times you see that, especially with community theater or high school theater. I'm totally not dissing anybody at all, but it's really refreshing to see people who really care about what they do, and that everyone in the cast and crew, they're 100% dedicated to this work, And you can see that through the way they act and portray their characters and sing and all that stuff. Let me just say that the actress who played Glinda portrayed her so wonderfully. My favorite thing about Glinda is that she's just so bubbly and she's goofy. She's not like a princess. I mean, she is essentially, but she's not like those Disney princesses who are perfect in every single way. She's so goofy and bubbly, and I just love that about her. She is literally the role I want to play if I ever was in Wicked. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to play Elphaba as well, but I just feel like I connect with Glinda in an emotional way, and that would be amazing to play her. So like I said, I like to look at the ensemble and see the kind of things they're doing during scenes, and like I said, you can really see their dedication, and they obviously never break character, and you can see how focused they are in each scene. They're physically, mentally, and emotionally there in this scene like they would be in real life. You know, if you're paying attention, like if you're talking to somebody, you're not going to start drifting off, you know, if you really want to pay attention to what they're saying. But they're just really, you can see that they're thinking in that moment, how would I respond to this situation? And you can totally see that in their faces, in their body language, and in everything else they do. And one thing I love about staying true to your character that I could see in Wicked is how bold everyone was, how committed they each were. Because a lot of the times I see actors and they're not as committed to doing something because they're scared of what people might think or how it makes them look. But to be a good actor, you have to be committed to every single thing you're doing, and you have to be committed 100%. That's something I learned by seeing people act and trying it out myself. I have to be 100% committed. Even if it feels weird, you have to step outside of your comfort zone, and that's something I definitely saw in Wicked, and it just took me a minute to realize that, wow, they're fully committed to what they're doing, and it's so refreshing to see that. I have recently, over probably like the last 2 years, but really have taken an appreciation to technicians and just how amazing they are. They are just as important as the cast, and people need to realize that, because without them, the show would not happen. The actors and the technicians have mutual responsibilities that they have to do in order for the show to run, essentially. You know, during intermission, I saw 2 people like on the set, literally on the set, manning lights. And it was just so cool to me because you don't really see what goes on behind the scenes, right? Because there's people backstage, like stage managers, and people up in the booth. But also the cool thing about me being on the balcony is that I could see the orchestra in the pit down below. And that's so cool too, because I found myself during points of the show just staring at the orchestra and just being amazed how dedicated they were, just like the actors. They're just as dedicated, and how committed and how meaningful they were, and the emotion they put into the music. For me, music makes such a big difference, and that's a big part of why I like musical theater, because straight plays can accomplish a lot in emotion and making the audience feel something, but when you add music, it's a whole new world. You can really play with people's heartstrings like that, and I know it touched mine, it ruined with mine. But yeah, orchestra appreciation post and technician appreciation post. Right here. Here. You're welcome. One last thing that I loved about the show is, of course, the singing. You know, that's a given. Of course, it's amazing. But, you know, I'm still in high school, so my vocal cords aren't fully developed. My castmates, my classmates, we're all babies. Of course, our shows aren't gonna sound like a professional show, but I completely get in a trance when I hear professional people singing. Like, it's so amazing to me. And I truly push myself and aspire to be something like that one day. And that's why I try so hard now. It's not necessarily that I'm trying to prove to other people that I can do it. I'm trying to prove to myself that I can do it, because I know I can if I put in the work. And watching people put on shows like that just really inspire me and help me keep going, keep me motivated. That's why I feel like it's so important to keep going to shows and reviewing shows and being in a show. Just have that experience, because that's what'll help you keep going. So if you ever find yourself lost in what you're doing and you're not sure where to go from there, even if it's not theater, just find something that motivates you and inspires you and partake of that a lot because that's what'll help you keep going. But back to the singing. So you can really tell when people are putting emotion into song because of the way they say certain things, and if they add little, I don't know what you call it specifically, but when people add little things into their song that make it real and make it feel like they're talking, essentially, because obviously sometimes it can be weird when someone starts talking and then they start singing randomly. You have to have a nice transition, that emotional staircase. And so it's really cool when you see people add remarks in their song and laughs or little cries and stuff like that, because it's not just I'm singing a song and I'm hitting all the notes perfectly. They really interpret it into a human way, and I think the person that did a wonderful job at that was the girl who played Elphaba. Now, don't get me wrong, the ensemble singing was spot on, and their diction and enunciation and their dynamics was everything to me. But of course, Elphaba, she has so many different songs, and she really took the time, I could tell, she took the time to put emotion into the songs and sing them over and find different ways to bring out emotion into it. One thing to remember is that professional actors, when especially Broadway and national tours, when they're doing 8 shows a week, they can't do it the same way because it'll get boring for them, it'll get boring for the audience. I mean, they have to find a different way to interpret things. So every night is a new night, and that's what I love, and that's what I really want to do, because in my school, we only have our musicals, we only do it 3 days, and our straight plays, we only do it twice. So I would just love to keep doing a show that I love, but just find different ways to change things, because that's what makes it not boring. And so I think it's really important when you're learning a song or playing a character or whatever, find different ways you can change things so that it'll keep it really interesting for yourself and for the audience. And I think the girl who played Elphaba did such an amazing job at that. I was really impressed by just how human I felt that she was, because Elphaba, you know, she's the Wicked Witch, and everybody sees her as this bad person, but in the show you really get to know who she is, and she's just a person with problems like everyone else. You could really see that through her songs, especially in the way she, you know, changed emotions so quickly. It's really hard to portray someone feeling multiple emotions at once, because obviously us as humans, sometimes we feel things all at once. We may feel happy, we may feel sad, we may feel guilty, and it's really hard to portray that on stage, because a lot of the times you have to be this big character where it's not really real. But when you're portraying a real person, you have to bring those multiple emotions in, and you have to play it all at the same time sometimes. And when somebody pulls it off, it's beautiful, and she really did that. Okay, so here's the only thing I didn't particularly like about the show. It's not big, and it's literally only one thing. Now on to technical terms. So this goes for Glinda and Elphaba. When you're doing a show that is a high belting show and a really forward and strong, you know, singer show, it's hard, you know, to sing it. Essentially, even if you're a really good singer, you really have to work at it. And one thing that I've learned in my training of singing and everything is that when you're singing a song like that, in musical theater, this goes for a lot of roles, they have to sing really nasally and forward and just really in their like mask. That's what my choir director told me. In their mask, in their face, so it's not all like heavy back here and it doesn't hurt their throat, because obviously singing 8 times a week, you have to keep your voice healthy. But I felt like sometimes when Glinda and Elphaba sang together, it was too nasally, and that kind of messed with my ears a bit. I mean, maybe other people really like that noise, but I personally can only handle when like one person is like super nasally and the other one's like lighter and clearer, but them sometimes just singing at the same time, and it just kind of clashed, I felt like. But of course, like I said, they have to make it really forward, because otherwise it would go flat or it would go in the back of their throat and they're going to be pushing, and that's really unhealthy for you. But yeah, that's literally the only thing that bothered me, essentially. But everything else was amazing. So overall, Wicked was amazing. They had so many innuendos towards the Wizard of Oz, and it's so funny. Literally, it's so funny, and it's family friendly, and that's what I love about it, because it really annoys me. Almost every show that I know is not family friendly, and it's not something that I'd want to do, I'd want to be in. But Wicked is one of those shows where you can take anyone to see it, and you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be shocked, because let me tell you, there are so many plot twists. it's definitely the show for everybody, and it's truly about friendship, and that's the main point of the entire show, just how Glinda and Elphaba connected with one another even though they were so different. It really gives us a lifelong lesson how no matter how different you are, you can become lifelong friends. And no matter what the situation is, you should forgive somebody and love them for who they are, not for what they do. You don't have to agree with them, just love them for who they are. Kind of goes back into what I was saying last video, but you just have to love everybody. I mean, I don't see the point of going through life hating everybody or hating what they do or making fun of them somehow, because it doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anyone feel better, especially not yourself. I don't understand how hating somebody could make you feel better. But anyway, Wicked was spectacular. I would 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10 recommend you to see it. It's truly amazing, and it really made me realize why I love theater. And I love seeing shows like that because, like I said, I saw Waitress before, and now I saw Wicked. Seeing that just reminds me why I love theater so much, and it helps me realize why I want to do what I want to do, and helps me push myself to become even better, not just as an actress, but as a person. And I have to thank theater for that. So thank you, theater. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you go see Wicked sometime. It's at the Smith Center for I don't know how long. Look it up on the website. And if it's coming to your city, definitely go see it and see any show you can. Even if you're like not super into theater, go see a show one time in your life. It'll probably amaze you. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and comment and follow me on all my social media. And of course, always remember to stay strong. Bye!